Today we're going to be meeting some of our candidates from Division 5 through to Division 10, and both mayoral candidates have been invited. All candidates were given short notice, so it shouldn't be a reflection if they're unable to attend. We will extend the invitation for next week as well. Divisions 1 to 4 will be invited next week. If this week works, hopefully, Stuart, it does.
Yes, let's hope.
And it looks like we are joined by Mayor George Seymour, who is on the set of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Is that right, George?
No, I'm actually here in the Botanic Gardens in Urankan.
We are here to talk to you about some of the key things that are important to our community leading into the election. You have been the mayor, so while you are a candidate, you are still sitting here as our mayor. So we do have a few questions for you. Sitira, did you want to speak to George?
George, can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been on the council for 12 years, 3 years as a councillor, 3 years as deputy mayor, and now 6 years as mayor. In that time, I have had a focus on trying to make the community a great place to live. That's through good infrastructure, events, great parks like the park I'm in right now, and ensuring that we promote a healthy and active lifestyle. The council needs to be stable so that it is focused on the community rather than itself. And I have led a team that works really well together.
Which is a nice segue into the next question. What do you hope to achieve if elected to council?
I think there is a lot happening over the next 4 years, whether it is the Glenwood Master Plan, improvements to parks and gardens, much needed infrastructure, the new planning scheme. We need to make sure the planning scheme is catering for the growth, making sure we have the infrastructure, residential, commercial, and industrial in the right places, making sure we're protecting the environment, whilst also preserving what is special and unique about the Fraser Coast. So the planning scheme, I think we really need to get right. We need to make sure the budget is as sound and financially stable as we can make it while keeping rate rises low as possible. We need to make sure that we are looking after the entire community because it's a very broad region. There's issues about biosecurity in some areas with rat-tail grass and feral pigs. There's issues with erosion in other areas. There's issues with traffic. We need to make sure we're further expanding our CCTV network. We have 300 CCTV cameras that are focused on community safety, and we're continuing to work with the police to make sure that we have the right technology, the right cameras in the right place.
In council, you'll need 5 other votes to achieve anything in the chamber. How will you build trust with your fellow team councillors? What is the best way to be a team player?
The best way to be a team player when you're in a group of 11 is to get to understand your colleagues. I have been on the council now for 12 years with a range of different colleagues, and everyone brings different vision, different ideas, different passions. And it's about getting to know them, getting to know the people they represent, and ensuring that everyone's views are brought to the table and that there's healthy debate. I've encouraged healthy debate on the council where we discuss things and come to a decision.
George, is there anything else you want to share with us? Thank you so much for your time.
Just that this is an important election. I'm seeking the support of the community to continue to serve the community in this role. The council plays a vitally important role right across the community. Vital infrastructures like water and sewerage, roads, parks, footpaths, libraries, and making sure that it is a lovely place to live. I want to continue to serve the community in this role, and I'm seeking support.
George, can you tell us what are some of the problems that we face with pre-polling?
Pre-polling is a very, very important part of the election now. A lot of people vote early. That's 2 solid weeks where the candidates are there meeting the voters. We have 2 pre-poll early voting votes on the Fraser Coast, the old Westpac building on the corner of Kent and Adelaide Street in Maryborough, and of course the Scout Hall here in Harvey Bay. It is, a challenge for candidates to be out in the heat like this for 2 solid weeks. It can be difficult for divisional councillors because, first of all, they've got to ask somebody where they live, work out actually if they live in the division, because people are just turning up at either one of these booths. So yeah, it is. It's one of the challenging parts of being a candidate is manning the pre-poll booth for 2 weeks.
It's my experience that 10% of it can be quite confrontational, with some candidates being quite rude sometimes, but 90% of candidates, by the end of the 2 weeks, they're all getting along, and democracy is quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the pre-poll, it really brings all the candidates together, the opponents and the people running in different divisions. And I've always found that there's a real good spirit of, cooperation between the candidates in terms of getting, making sure that it is a good atmosphere for voters, making sure voters can get in and out very easily, that the candidates are available.
George, what advice would you give to some of our newer voters that have just registered? We have a daughter who's 19. This is the second election that she's experienced, and she is a little unsure of whether to actually head to the booths and vote.
Yeah. Voting is so important in our society. The voting is, how we determine, the public setting, the public policy, who runs the governments. Young people, people of all ages should get more active, I think, in civic affairs, find out about the different candidates, contact them, and learn about their visions. Throughout this campaign, I've been very impressed with the enthusiasm and the contributions of the different councillor candidates. And if re-elected, I want to make sure that that enthusiasm, those ideas really get incorporated into the way that council is organized through a portfolio system. So we have 10 different council portfolios where the different councillors are responsible, for bringing reports back to the council meetings, whether it is their portfolio of roads and drainage or of events, or the whole range of different portfolios that the council is involved in, to make sure that the councillors continue to be very, very active and involved in terms of bringing ideas, in terms of informing the discussion at the council table, and make sure that we cover the whole breadth and range of issues that they have been speaking about during the campaign, that those continue to be brought forward into the council meetings.
George, I'm a big advocate on portfolio systems. I prefer a portfolio system that is created based on community need, not councillor interest. Will you create portfolios based on the need of the community and then fit the councillor, or will you create a portfolio that hits the interest of the councillor itself?
Community need. The council is here to serve the community, and we need to make sure that the 10 councillor portfolios cover the range of infrastructure and services that the council delivers, and we need to make sure still that it's a good fit for each of the councillors. If a councillor has a specific interest and expertise in primary industries and biosecurity, there would be obviously a very good fit for that portfolio.
George, thanks for joining us in what is our first attempt in an online chat.
Okay.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.